What's doing? Welcome to another episode. This week we have something completely different. I think it's pretty cool. Let's go check it out. That's right. We have the millionaire Buggy. Look at him. No, we have a Buggy. I'll do a bit of a walk around. We'll do a bit of a questionnaire and we'll do a bit of a run up and see what it does. Alright, this is James. Welcome to the channel. James aka Hutch aka pilot of millionaire dollars. Does nothing.
Yep.
Plays heaps of play toys. Hutch has come down to throw his Buggy up on the dyno. Bit of a diagnosis, bit of a fact finding and find out where it's at, what it's doing. A couple of races coming up and he wants to sort out what's going on. What can you tell me about it?
Okay, so 2020 Can-Am X3 Turbo. I've had this car pretty much this year only. We raced Finke, so it's set up for Finke and a lot of long course events. This buggy's got a lot of modifications. We've spent a lot of money on it in order to race it. So we can run you through it quickly what it's got, but the main differences that people will see on the car straight away is King shocks. So Zach and the boys down there at King's helped me out a fair bit. 56 rear arms, so they come from the States, front and rear. Also we run RCV axles, front and rear, and then obviously method tyres and tensors as well. So all the cages being changed and obviously all the internals as well. So fair bit of modifications on this car.
So I'm a numpty when it comes to this stuff. Two-wheel drive or four-wheel
Both.
Both.
So it has two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive.
Racing in four-wheel drive.
Correct. Four.
Only two steer, so no four-seaters, two steer.
Yep. Yep.
Three-cylinder.
Correct. Yep.
Boosted three-cylinder.
Yep.
So basically a jet ski on wheels.
Correct. Yep.
What sort of power do these things make factory? What can they make? What sort of speed do they go to? Those sorts of things.
So these ones, you're looking at the 2020s 195. Guys over in the States are making some ridiculous numbers, but for racing, we want to keep it more reliable.
Yep.
So that's what it's more about for us. So generally a lot of guys tune, exhaust, and that's about it. There is a few with E85 injectors and turbo, but that's not meant to be the case in this class.
So you're saying racing, what sort of racing that you're doing? Is it circuit? I know what Finke is, but people might not.
Yep.
But what's Finke? Is it circuit racing? Is it a time thing? What other sort of racing do you do? Do you do circuit racing and do you change things for that? Or?
Yeah, so the short course events, the main things we change are the tyres. So these are 32-inch tyres. We go back to 30-inch tyres, so it gives us more acceleration out of the corners, better handling. For the longer course, we run bigger tyres, so the 32s. So Finke, if no one knows about Finke, largest and biggest four-wheel drive off-road event in Australia. Run from Alice Springs down to Finke one day, and then we run from Finke back up to Alice Springs the next. So I've been fortunate enough to do Finke 3 times, finished it twice, which was good. These are a great starting point, but yeah, look, it just depends on what you want to use these cars for. They're fantastic in the short course events, so anything sort of the 100k events, whereas Finke's 460 kilometres we do in a couple of days. They've just started a race next year out at St George. It's going to be 900 kilometres in a day.
900 kilometres in a day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, these are great fun for short course. They're very good and very competitive in the short course. The long course obviously don't keep up with the big cars.
So basically, if you were to buy, so this is a Polaris.
Can-Am?
This is a Can-Am, so I can go buy one of these stock.
Yep.
But it's not going to do anything like what you do. Well, it'll be able to handle what you do.
Yep.
But there are people out there that help you get those parts, fit the parts for you, and you can go and race and those
sorts 100%. So when you buy this car, it looks obviously nothing like this one does at the moment. So roll cage doesn't come as with this one. It's CAM's approved roll cage, and then the budget's the limit in where you want to go with these cars. So I think now about early 40s for one of these cars to get you a car. and then it really depends on what you want to
So
spend.
and we don't want to talk numbers with your thing, obviously, whatever. But if you want to be, if I was to buy one and go to Finke, what sort of money would I have to spend? Like, where would you have to be?
Look, if you probably spent 20 to 30 grand on top of it, it would get you a cage, some wheels and tyres, your shocks tuned, seats and harnesses.
So you get your safety stuff you need.
Correct.
You get a bit of speed and power out of it.
Yeah.
And you can go and do it. So you're probably going to be in it for 60, 70 grand.
Correct.
And you'll be able to go do Finke and have a great time.
Yes,
Probably
that's...
not going to place, but you'll be able to have a great time.
No. So as I said, I've been going to Finke now for a few years, and it's very hard to place, that's for sure. It's you really need to spend a lot of money. When you come up to these kind of cars now, the budget has to be pretty healthy. You're definitely well into the hundreds to get a car sort of this spec. So, yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else I need to ask you. You obviously run a Navigator for Finke. What about circuit courses you run?
Yeah. So the short course events, a lot of it you don't need it. You don't need Navigator.
Yeah.
But a good mate of mine, Jenkins, he's been navving for me for a while now.
And what does a nav do? Like, I've seen rallying. I've been in a rally car.
Yeah.
Does the nav literally do that, or are they checking and doing other things for you? Like, inside, I'll show a pan on the screen now while we're talking, but inside there's a lot going on in there. So even me sitting on the dyno, you're saying, watch this, do that.
Yep.
Do you do that?
So that's mainly his job. Yeah, so you'll see in the car in a second, it's got engine temp gauge, belt temp gauge. He also, we run a lead nav app on there, so it's got it right in front of him. You'll see the mount. We run an iPad there, so if we pre-run the course, we can log whatever we want it to be in whatever corner. So I just effectively steer the thing. He deals with all the fuel. So these things run a standard tank, two tanks under the seats. So on a long course event, obviously we carry a lot of fuel. So he has to transfer the fuel. He does all the radios in regards to the car. So your navigator's a very important person. So there's not many guys that I let trust to navigate for me because there is a lot going on.
So basically you're doing nothing.
That's correct.
And he does everything else.
And pay the bill. So that's what I do. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else. You and I have spoken about belts before, and I can see one in the car now, and I'll show you on another pan screen as well. But belt temperature is obviously a big thing. When we've run up on the dyno, we've talked about not accelerating too fast.
Yep.
And we've also spoken about not holding that speed for long times and things. Why? And can we change belts quickly and all those sorts of things?
Yeah, so obviously belt cover just down in here takes us about, from the time I get out of the car to change, it's about 2 minutes. But we've also changed it to all quick releases. We've got a proper belt tool, which normally don't come standard. Yeah. And there's a lot of other things that have to go right while doing it.
So what's the belt temperature, like where's your range, where's safe and not safe?
So on our Razor temp gauge we've got there, we try and look at anything less than 100 degrees, depends if you're talking Celsius or Fahrenheit. 100's nice, but you can break a belt in one of these things doing 30 k's an hour, you can break it doing 130. So it's just that constant speed for a long period of time is where they get warm, and then they will break.
And that comes down to you modulating the throttle, so that's where you rah,
correct.
And keep that moving going.
That's it, yep. Apart from that, everything else in this car, we run obviously helmet blowers, we run comms to talk to each other all the time. And yeah, there's just a lot going on. Even a quick release steering wheel just to get in and out. So yeah, there's a bit going on, but yeah, good fun. If you haven't ever been around it, definitely get out and have a look.
I think we've spoken about we want to head out to Finke. Even if I'm just coming out to watch and have the beers and if there's any need for picture, I'll be there. But I think I need to come out. It's an
amazing event. It's a long way from here, but yeah, well worth it. Once you've been once, you seem to want to go every year. So. As I said, I've been fortunate to race it a few times, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully next year we might get back there. But yeah, in the meantime, we'll just go in and have some fun.
All right, well, we've got to run up on the dyno. I'll give you some more screenshots so you can see what's going on inside. If there's any other questions you have for this, leave them down in the comments below, and I'm sure Hutch will see them or at least answer for me, or I can try and refer to you and answer them. You want to see more of this buggy stuff, let me know. We've got one now that I can have access to whenever I want it. Maybe it's a glass house strip and put some club rego on it and see how we go.
Yeah. You paying that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, let's run it up and see how she goes. yeah, so that's the Buggy, the Polaris. He'll get annoyed with that, but it needs a little bit of love. We need to do some stuff. We need to get the software, and there's a bit of a weird dongle to get into it. So James is going to take it. We're going to get the dongle. We're going to get the software. We're going to have a bit of a play, see if we can get this thing running right, so he can go to his next event. But yeah, like I said before, if you want to see more of this, if you want to see more Buggy stuff, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Hit that like, hit subscribe, and stay tuned for more action. Cheers, guys.